Thanks, Marcus. No, it's been a pretty long ride. I'll try to be quick. Firstly, I think the one thing that we shouldn't overlook with the Colts is that the way that we've turned the club around, the direction that we've gone in, you know, even although they're not probably winning the games that their coaching group would like to see, is that the development that's going on in that area and the players that we're unearthing, I can assure you that we're on the right track, and that goes for the reserves as well. Today, you know, when we see young Cam Grover come up and get an award, who's well and truly eligible to be playing Colts, it's very, very promising, as I say, and you know, that's a vision that we have as a football club and a coaching group on what direction that we want to take this football club in, and you know, we're showing very, very good signs of that happening. To the Silcock family, thank you very much for being here, and I think the one thing that well, it truly stands out is that obviously Jeremy's spirit is still with us when we see that you know, we're 9-5 in these games against West Perth. So I've got no doubt that his inspiration is a massive motivation for our players, and I thank you again. To Clarke for achieving his 100th game, an absolutely outstanding effort. I think the fact that it's taken him, as he mentioned, 10 years, and you know, he added up 20 games in 10 years. He's well and truly shows the courage that he's displayed throughout those 100 games. To the past players that have come along today, I think it's absolutely fantastic that you're here. It shows the great tradition that this club's been built on, and the very, very foundation that our young players will continue to build on as well. I think I've covered all of them. I'm probably forgetting a few. I guess one of the things that I did want to say in regards to the Silcock situation is that I've coached a lot of tough players, and when I saw today, probably one of the toughest that I've ever coached, and to see him here tonight with his lovely wife and a couple of kids, I guess a few years ago we would never ever thought that in Devon Perry, and Devon got up today and spoke fairly emotionally about the Silcock game and getting our players to understand what it's all about, and it was a great catalyst for our players. On to our best player awards, and our fourth best award has gone to a player who's been absolutely outstanding all year, in my opinion, and one thing that I've always tried to be with our players, certainly not tried to be, I always have been, is be honest with them. I didn't think it was his best game today, but he still played on a very, very dangerous player, and he didn't have a marked impact on the game, but the one thing he has been, he's been absolutely outstanding in previous games and hasn't been rewarded for it. He's been rewarded tonight for his all-round performance, and as I say again, let's not look light on his performance today. He shut down quite a dangerous player for the opposition. That went to Luke Sampey.
First of all, Clarke, well done on the 100 games, mate. You know, it's great to run out at the end of the week in. To the Silcock family, it's obviously a big game. It's a great honour for a young kind of guy to play in. So yeah, just moving forward, win the next 2 games, boys, and we're right in there. So yeah, just keep on going forward. Cheers.
I reckon we've been really fortunate that when you look throughout the course of this year, we've honoured a number of milestone players this year, and I apologise to any of those guys that I miss out on it. You know, when we had somebody, you know, like Lukey Webster, and we all know what he's been through with his career, and Craig Glancy today, and then earlier on, a player who celebrated his 150th game. And one great credit is a lot of times you see when players playing a milestone game, they generally have the party spoiled. We've been pretty fortunate in all of those games to be successful. I reckon this guy, and one thing I'm certainly going to do and make it a legacy of mine is try and get the rule changed, is that when I see this guy consistently jump on the footy, put his head over the footy, get absolutely smashed week in, week out, and I believe a couple of years ago he finished up with a fractured skull and played a couple of weeks after it. And these pathetic rules that allow umpires to pin players for holding the ball when they show that sort of courage. The rule needs to be changed. I don't criticise the umpires. The rule needs to be changed. And this guy might be the catalyst in changing it, Craig Wulff.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for those words. First of all, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming back today and celebrating the win, and also great Glancy's 100th game. These are the sort of games you want to win and you want to play in, and the reason for that is that you play for mates, and he's a very good mate of mine, and you know, I wouldn't play the game any other way than the way I did today for him. And I'd just like to congratulate him on the way he's gone about his business over the last 10 years. And I think if we all play similar the way we wouldn't lose a game. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. He puts his head over the footy. He comes back into the packs with amazing courage, and I think that's amazing. And I just congratulate Craig on a wonderful career, and well done.
Our second best award goes to a guy that, again, look, the one thing that, you know, probably the most important ingredient that I look in players is their character. And I won't sort of go into detail. I think it's been pretty well documented about this guy's character and the hardship that he suffered over the last 2 years. Since joining West Coast, I thought his performance for a player coming from where he's come from was outstanding today, Luke Shuey.
Obviously, I'm feeling very lucky to be able to play. I've only played 2 Wulff games now, but I feel very privileged to be able to play one of them today. Especially in the memory of one of our, obviously I don't have much connection with the family, but obviously a great player for the club, and also a milestone game. So it was obviously a great effort by the boys. West Perth threw everything at us, and the way we responded was pretty good. So hopefully we got some good times ahead this year.
Ken Bartlett, I don't know whether he's still here, but grabbed me last home game and made a donation towards the players and asked me if I would give out a special coaches award. It's a bloody tough one today. I've sort of been thinking about it as the trophies have gone on earlier, and I've come up with a number of scenarios, and I'll just go through a few of them. I think they deserve mentioning. I reckon a young kid like Zach Clarke, who obviously when Aaron Sandlin's missed out on this weekend and the form that he's been in, you would have thought that he might have been a walk-up start for Fremantle. He didn't get that opportunity. He's a key player to us, and the thing that I was absolutely rapt at him, the way he went about his work today and the character that he showed was outstanding. Zach, it's really appreciated. Thanks very much for what you're doing. There's a young kid, and I'm really leaning strongly that way, that's played reserves all year and been outstanding in the reserves. He just gives his all every week. He's knocking on the door. He's been, unfortunately, hasn't been given an opportunity, but he's going to be a very good player for this footy club in time to come, and that's young Stephen Payne. And I think the thing that and of course, the thing that I've really been wrestling with is that when I look at the 100 games that Craig Glancy's played throughout his career, and you'd love to reward him as well. I guess what I weighed up is that Zach's getting paid and Plucker's getting paid. It was hard for Payne, and I think the one thing that I'd like you to realise is that all these reserves and Colts kids train at least 3 nights a week. They put in a lot of time and effort, and when they're not playing league footy, they don't get anything. They don't even get their petrol money, and they're a really committed group of players, and they've been absolutely fantastic. This young guy got paid today, and he's come up, and I'm going to give my coach's award today to a young up-and-coming player, and I hope it's an inspiration to all the other young blokes in the room, Donnie Stirling.
Obviously, the Silcock family is always a big game every year, and I think we really stepped up today. And we're on to Plucker as well. Cheers.
Look, just before I finish off and give out the Best Player Award, the one thing I'd like to make it clear, particularly to the players, it's terrific. You've been absolutely fantastic over a period of time, with our wins more recently, and the way you've gone about your work and the way the team and the football club's improved. Understand this, as much as you enjoy your successes tonight, that the job is nowhere near done. And the one thing that I'd like all the members and supporters to understand, there's no getting away from one fact, is that read all the papers you like. We need to win our next 2 games to play in finals. Come on! And there's nothing surer than that. We've got Subiaco and Claremont, 2 games that we're capable of winning, but just understand that, and I hope the players keep their head on their shoulders and understand the work that we need to put in to achieve that success. So let's make sure, as I say, keep your head on your shoulders and stay focused on what we need to do to achieve that success. Our best player today, and to me there wasn't any doubt when the game needed to be won, and particularly in the middle of the ground. And the one thing that I probably did hide from the players is that we dominated West Perth at Joondalup in the middle rounds of the game, because we had centre square dominance, and this little fella gave it to us today in the middle of the ground when it was really telling, and that was Brendan Lee.
Firstly, thanks to Kendrick Automotive's voucher, and to the Silcock family. It's great to see that the spirit still lives on. Obviously, you guys that are still playing, like Wulffie and Plucker, and that his memory obviously never die. You guys are here every year, and we appreciate you coming down. And it's not just another game for us. We do try and get up for it. To Plucker, congrats on the 100 games. You've been, I think, inspired everyone, definitely inspired me to keep going on, especially when things get tough, to see what you've been through. You've been very good with your advice since I've gotten to the club, and we haven't had too many ups and downs on our friendship, other than probably ruining my 21st, but other than that. Other than that, we've been pretty sweet. And Tim, the guys from work that came down today at the back, my little groupies, and other than that, everyone get down for the last 2 games, because obviously we need to win them. Everyone hang around, have a couple of beers with Plucker and the boys, and thanks everyone for hanging today. We really do appreciate it. Thanks.
Well done, Brendan. Well done. Okay, good night for me, good night for me.